Check out a new Patriots Talk podcast and much more on the Patriots and the offseason. Tommy Kern's got a conversation with former Patriot Jason McCourty. Just go to the NBC Sports Boston YouTube page or find the audio version on your favorite podcasting app. Let's get to the steal of the game, brought to you by Stop and Shop with more than 10,000 items on sale every week. The chase down. It's easy to make winning plays at Stop and Shop. Derek White the steal, Baylor Shireman the 3. How about Derek White? He's on Jimmy Fallon last night.
Man never gets tired.
Follows it right up with 11 points, 6 rebounds, 3 steals. So he was everywhere making those chase down plays. And again, Derek White continues at Celtics Postgame Live. We got Chris Forsberg joining us now. What did you see from Derek White tonight?
So I love that's right at the start of the fourth quarter when Jaylen comes out, Jason was back in there, but I thought Derek controlled that little last punch just to kind of, not even the knockout blow because they were already done, but just kind of like separating a little bit more, getting them to the finish line, just doing Derek things. It'd be a toss up to me about who's been benefiting more with Tatum back. Has it been the looks that Derek White is getting, especially as like JB and JT are both feeding him, or Nene in the pick and roll, but Derek's shot quality has to have gone up. Have to check the metrics on that, but he's just doing all the Derek White stuff.
Well, that hustle play right there, to me, that is him. If you ask anybody what Derek White brings to the table, those are the winning plays that we're talking about. They were buried already, like you said. Yeah. You don't have to hustle back like that, but it's like the way that he plays, his mentality. I don't think that he played particularly well tonight. I mean, yeah, he had 11 points, 6 rebounds, and 3 steals. But at the beginning of the game, I think on the backside of the game, in the second half, that's where he kind of turned up. And to your point, where he controlled the game and he was in a flow. But in the first half, he was kind of struggling a little bit. But see, that's the thing about him. He could struggle offensively, but it's not going to affect him defensively. And that's a winning player right there.
And those guys stepping up in the second half, Peyton Pritchard putting it together. He finished with 19 points, 7 assists. But, I mean, the Warriors got this down to 7 at the beginning of that third quarter. Celtics able to distance themselves for what was felt like an easy 21-point win. But, Eddie, how did you feel about Peyton Pritchard and the way he attacked tonight?
In the fourth quarter, though, he had some Debo baskets. Like, he was – okay, yeah, he hit some threes, but I'm talking about when he was getting to the basket right there in front of the bench. Right, look at this play right here. That's a big fella that's trying to block his shot, creates his space. Here's another one. Look, that's the Debo basket I'm talking about. Fade away, gets a basket. Peyton doesn't surprise me. He's bigger than what people think he is, and he's a whole lot stronger than what people think he is. And to me, those are 2 good combinations for Peyton Pritchard because he's quick, he's fast, he's strong, and he knows how to play the game.
Plus 25, team best, if I'm reading that right. 31 minutes. So just bringing that positive energy and making good things happen when he's out there. The 7 assists to go along with the points. That's creating even more offense. It's an embarrassment of riches right now for the Celtics, the way they're getting production up and down this roster. It's not just JT and JB having crazy good nights. It's everyone finding a way to chip in, getting Luka Garza when Neme's in foul trouble to go up a level. Like everyone keeps saying from the outside, man, like the Celtics look this good and Tatum has just scratched the surface on his return. It's crazy. It's crazy. It's again, an embarrassment of riches.
We might get a little more into that in just a few minutes. One thing that we wanted to hit on real quick here was the tribute video for Kristaps Porzingis, which we saw between the first and second quarters. And that was a cool moment. And you saw at the very end of it, Kristaps Porzingis, Chris, to me, kind of started to touch his face a little bit, like in the sense of like, he's getting in his feels,
He had said he wasn't going to cry. But he definitely, he looked up and then he looked away, probably didn't let the emotion get to him, did the quick wave around, and then boom, right back in the huddle. What I love is that if you watch the Celtics bench, Joe purposely doesn't go to the huddle during those moments. He gives that moment a chance to breathe, a chance for the players on the Celtics roster to celebrate him. And we know what the history and how much that matters. I know it's recent history, but cool that we got to celebrate. On a night that we thought was going to be all about Al, we get to celebrate KP.
I missed it, y'all. I ain't gonna.
Where were you?
I went to the bathroom. I didn't.
The first and second quarter.
I didn't know. I went
planned.
to the bathroom. I came back. They was like, "Oh yeah, they just did the tribute." I said, "Damn." I was like, I wanted to see that. So that was my first time seeing it. Yeah, that was my first time seeing it right there. But that's cool. When you see things like that, because when I got my tribute, And that's the thing about this organization, first class. You know, they're a first class organization. And to see that, to show that, they show respect, not only to champions, but former Celtics. They say always a Celtic, once a Celtic, always a Celtic. And so to see that and to see his face, you know, he tried to keep it in. He didn't cry or nothing like that, but he cried when he got in the car.
Hold on. You're going to the bathroom. And you're like, why is it so loud in there?
I know. I wasn't even paying attention to nothing. I'm trying to get to the bathroom, Jack.
Worried about what the follow-up question was going to be there from Chris, but let's just
never know, right?
Yeah, I know. Let's just
I like to keep people on their toes.
Let's enjoy the Kristaps Porzingis moment. Celtics now 46-23. I believe that's the season best. 23 games over 500.
Oh, look at you, bro.
3.5 back of the Detroit Pistons. Game and a half ahead
That's
of the New York Knicks.
That's a .667 win percentage, right?
It is. They've won 2 of 3.
I was pretty good at mathing in the high school. All
right. Well, we're going to continue to math and talk Jaylen Brown and this win coming up next as we get set for Celtics post-game Blizzards. All right. Tonight after Celtics post-up, stay tuned for Town Fair Tire BST with Felger and Hawley as Mike Felger and Michael Hawley have the latest on the Celtics, Patriots, Bruins, and Red Sox. All coming away after Celtics post-up. Let's get to tonight's drain of the game brought to you by John Sewer and Drain Cleaning, the name to know when the drains don't flow. And it's the extra effort here. Baylor Shireman tracking down the offensive rebound. Peyton Pritchard taking care of that. He had a few threes in this one, but Peyton Pritchard with your drain of the game. Again, 19 points for Pritchard coming off the bench as the Celtics get the 21-point win over the Golden State Warriors. All right, coming up next for the Celtics is Friday night taking on the Memphis Grizzlies down in Memphis. I mean, the first time we saw the Grizzlies, that was a dominant win for the C's. Memphis at this point, they've lost 8 in a row, although they're beating the Denver Nuggets tonight going into the fourth quarter, which is a bit surprising.
And they're in Memphis, correct?
They're in Memphis, yeah. Yeah, but this is one of those games, Eddie. You're going up against a Western Conference team that even though they're showing some pretty good fight tonight against Denver, they've got different motivations, it would seem.
Yeah, I would think they got different motivations as well. They don't know what they're going to do with Ja. They don't know where they're going to finish at in the standings. But it's not about that. To me, it's about the Celtics and what they're going to do. And going into this game with a workmanlike mentality and not worry about the opponent across, but worry about how you're going to continue to get better, your execution, everything of the rotations from the coach, having the right rotations, guys getting out there on the floor playing together. And on the defensive end, most importantly, on the defensive end, I think that's what got it done tonight on the defensive end. Like I said, we turned it over 16 times, only had 22 assists, but defensively, nobody on their team had more than 14 points.
Okay, and they held Golden State to under 100 points, just 99 for the Warriors tonight. So you get the Celtics taking on the Memphis Grizzlies on Friday before they take on Minnesota and OKC. So a couple big games coming up next week, but got some business to take care of before then against Memphis. And that action is Friday night at 8 p.m. So our coverage starts at 7 p.m. with Celtics pregame live presented by TD. Stay with us after the game for highlights and player and coach reaction on Celtics postgame live presented by your New England Ford dealers. And remember, you can stream all of our coverage on the NBC Sports app and NBCSportsBoston.com. The Celtics live stream is brought to you by your New England Cadillac dealers, the official luxury vehicle of the Boston Celtics. All right, it was the return of Kristaps Porzingis. He had the tribute video, but Jaylen Brown, the headliner once again, as he had 32 points. And this place, people are starting to leave, and Jaylen was at the free throw line. Those MVP chants were loud.
Well, you know what was going to happen. You know what was going to happen when they started doing the wave. The crowd was involved at that point.
Okay, you got the MVP chants. I think they're going to be talking about that coming up next on Celtics Post Up with Kayla and Chris. We'll talk to you.